Great to have with us as our halftime guest, Mark Lasseter, assistant football coach, head golf coach. You got a lot of tasks that you take on, Coach, and it's a delight to have you as our guest.
Well, it's great to be here. We really appreciate you, Robert, and JockJive for what y'all do for our athletes here at Bayside Academy. I mean, it's a wonderful thing to get to go back and watch those. After usually I don't get to see the games till later on, but it's really nice. And watching our kids play on TV is really special.
Man, we appreciate that. And you and I meet every Friday, it seems, in the press box. Um, I got to ask you before we go further. The first conversation I have on air, I always like to kind of get a little background, go back and take a look at that bio or that resume for Mark Lasseter. Bring us back in time and what got you to Bayside.
This will be my 12th year here at Bayside, and this is my 42nd year coaching. I've been doing it for a long time, and I still love it as much as I did first time. But I had retired from public education in 2009, and went to work after that at UMS Wright and worked there for 2 years, and then went to into the business world, and I wasn't very good at it. And I decided, that I need to get back where I'm comfortable, and I missed coaching. So I ran into Phil Lazenby, our former head coach and dear friend of mine. I ran into Coach Phil at the Super 7 championships, and he said, I sat down beside him. He says, "You about ready to start coaching again?" I said, "Man, yes. You got anything?" He said, "Yeah, we do. How about come and talk to me when we get back home?" And so that was in the fall, I think, of 2000 or winter of 2011. Or 12, I can't remember. Anyway, that next spring I was out with Bayside and then started full time then after that. And that got me here, and I've stayed ever since. And it's been a wonderful experience for me.
Well, I'm from the South, and you know what we Southerners do. Where are you from? Now, are you originally a Southern boy?
I am. I was born in Gadsden, Alabama, in 1959 to a Southern Baptist preacher, and we moved around a little bit. Dad was still in college. Mom was in college. We moved to Birmingham, to Coleman. Eventually, we moved all the way to Fort Worth, Texas, then to St. Louis, Missouri, and then back to Alabama my senior year at Huntsville. And I graduated from S.R. Butler High School in Huntsville in '77, and then enrolled at the University of Alabama and went to school there. I was fortunate enough to get a position in the athletic building as a mail courier, where I delivered intercampus mail. And so every day of my college career, I got to stop by Bear Bryant's office and pick up his mail. And
Wow.
Every now and then I got to chat with him, which was kind of special.
We may have a common acquaintance in Colin Big C. McGuire. I don't know if he was there at the time you were. He was a manager for Bear Bryant, and there may be different eras that you and he were there. I want to talk football before we talk golf. And specifically this past weekend, that was an impressive win over Hillcrest Evergreen. Was it purely coincidental that the open week was prior, or did that play a role in the win?
It was coincidental. I mean, it's just the way the schedule fell, but it did help us. You kind of start in June, and we're running it through, all the way through the summer into the fall practice and fall camp. And Coach Trotter does a great job of finding a way to give our kids a little bit of time to catch your breath. But this week was a great week for us to kind of say, okay, no pressure on this Friday night. Let's kind of get healed up. Let's take care of some things we need to get shored up. Let's work some of our younger guys at some places. We can get a look at them. And at the same time, start putting the game plan together for Hillcrest. And it worked out really good for us. And our kids were really excited about playing. And man, I'll tell you, that was the hardest I've seen us play this year. Our kids have always been known as some of the hardest working kids on Friday night that anybody ever plays, and that we hold that to a big standard here, is playing hard every snap. And our kids did that, and can see it in the film how well they did. And Coach Trotter had a great plan offensively. Coach Pratt had a great defensive plan, and man, they just put it all together and it worked.
Do you get a little concerned? I'm assuming that coaches always find something to worry about. That was a big win from the standpoint of potentially hosting a playoff game. Now, obviously, there's still Cottage Hill, there's still Excel before the big meeting with TR Miller. Are you worried about overlooking a Cottage Hill or Excel and looking ahead to a TR Miller?
You always worry about it, but I think one thing that unfortunately happened was Alabama got beat by Vanderbilt, and that weekend, that was the next day, which should not happen. Everybody knows it shouldn't happen, but it did. And so we tell our guys, hey, you don't want to be Alabama this week, because we are I think our team's a little better than Cottage Hill, but they've got some really good players. They got a linebacker who's committed to Auburn, really good football player, got a nice little quarterback, got some good receivers. They have some people, and they have played with people, into the third quarter. They just kind of run out a little bit of steam a couple of times, but this is a team that we cannot overlook, and I think Coach Trotter addressed that right off the bat on Monday.
Last football question. This obviously recorded in advance, but played at halftime. At halftime, what are you doing at this moment?
At halftime, I'll have my iPad, which is new for this old dinosaur. I have an iPad, and take it down, and we go back and we'll look out. Coach Pratt and Coach Landon Lasseter, my son, will look at things that we saw in the first half. I'll already have some notes written down from the press box that I wrote down as the half went on, that we need to shore up to stop our opponent, which would be Cottage Hill tonight. We'll be talking about that at halftime, and then we'll take it to the players, say this is our adjustments, and then go out in the second half and see if it works.
All right, you brought up a question, and that is the fact that it is a high technology Bayside Academy football wise. And I'm from the era you are. Is that a difficult adjustment in adjusting your mindset, the activities, what you write in, that it's technology versus a notebook?
It was early on. When I first started doing it, everything was written. I wrote everything down on a piece of paper. And that was fine. But then when I started really learning how to take what I was seeing, and then I've learned now how we get a break in the action, I can go back 4 plays and said, this is how they blocked that play, coach. And it really makes a huge difference. And it was just getting used to it, getting used to having an iPad with me was a little different. But man, now I don't know if I could go without it.
All right, let's talk golf. How long have you been the golf coach there?
12 years. When I first started, Coach Doug Lefford, who does our fields, and if y'all look at the field tonight, you'll see what a magnificent field we have. Doug Lefford takes care of all of our athletic facilities, but he was the athletic director at that time, and he asked me to take the golf team in 2013, and I said, yeah, I'd be glad to do that. I'd love to do it. I'd never done it before. And so we just kind of organized it. I had a great bunch of kids. And that first year we won a state championship in 3A, had some really good players. We won it again in 14. In 15, we were runner-up. Since then, we've won a total of 3 state championships and 3 state runner-ups. We've had 4 kids go play collegiate golf. William Bull played at Arkansas. John Solberg and Will Middleton played at Birmingham Southern, and Cole Kimyati is playing at University of Missouri Science and Technology. Those guys have all gone on and played at the next level, and it's just been a wonderful experience. Our team has now moved up to 5A. We won the 4A state championship or state runner-up 2 years ago, and so competitive balance has moved us up into 5A. So we'll be in 5A this coming spring.
What does a good 5A golfer shoot in an 18-hole round?
Well, you're hoping in high school, great rounds are under par. Those are great rounds. You don't get those a whole lot, but every now and then we do. But if the kids can shoot under 80 for our team, like at state last year, every player we had shot and won the first round shot excuse me shot 79 or less. We had all 5 of them in the 70s, which was a tremendous round. We shot a cumulative round of 305, which had us in third place after the first round last year. And then the next day we had taken over second place until the thunderstorms hit, and we were unable to finish. And unfortunately, they go back to the day before the last 9 holes played, and that's where they got the team scores from. So we ended up third overall.
If you had to name the best golfer who has been at Bayside since you've been the coach, who would that be?
2 guys jump off the page at me. William Bull was probably the most gifted golfer we've had. He graduated, I think it was in 16, and tremendous 2-time state champion. And then Cole Kimyati would probably be right there with him. He's another state champion golfer. And just both of those guys they brought different elements to the game for us. Both of them were just tremendous players. Cole was a more quiet leader, but really one the kids really flocked after. William, everybody just admired. They just wanted to play like him, And now we've got Luke Ferguson, who is our number 1 this year. And Luke has been shooting 2-3 over par all his last 3 years, basically on average. And he has finished in the top 3 of state each year for the last 3 years, and looking forward to his senior year to see what he does this year.
Is typically a very good golfer a multi-sport star or athlete, or does a golfer typically tend to only focus on golf?
Most of the guys, some of them only play golf. There's 2 or 3 that play more. When William Bull was here, he played baseball, basketball, football, and golf. We had Cole Kimyati played basketball and golf, and then he gave basketball up. He wanted just to work on his golf game. Luke Ferguson right now, and last year Jack Hicks, both of those are in our top 5 golfers, played soccer. And what was really kind of amazing for those guys, there was a couple of years where they won soccer state championship on Thursday or Friday or Saturday, and then Monday and Tuesday, and next week they won another state championship in golf. So we've got guys who play multiple sports. I encourage them, want them to play multiple sports. Our middle school team right now, we'll have this year overall, we have 37 kids signed up to play golf at Bayside. 17 of those are middle school, 7th and 8th grade. And there's about 8 of them that are playing on our middle school football team right now, which I really like. I love that. And so we're real fortunate. We've got a lot of kids interested in golf and playing golf, and they're going to continue to make this program really good.
Do you find that an athlete from a particular sport turns into a better golfer? I mean, for instance, is a basketball player a better golfer than maybe a football player or a baseball player?
Not really. I think it all just depends on how much time they spend playing golf. You can't play golf unless you work at it. And no matter what sport it is, I would say that kids who play football have a tendency to get a little bit bulkier and bigger, and it takes a little bit. If they have to do a good job stretching to keep flexibility in their swing, because that's one of the big components of a swing, is being able to contort your body a little bit and get full throttle on the club. So I would say that football has a tendency to make them a little stronger, unless they do a really good job with stretching and rehab after they work out.
Mark Lasseter, golf coach, assistant football coach, thanks so much for being a guest. I'm sure we will talk tonight at Davenport Field.
Absolutely will, man. Thank you so much, Robert, for all you guys do.
Thank you, Coach.